Hey everybody, this is Grossmaster bringing you just a little bit of a video of what I got going on my painting desk. If anybody's seen my last videos I put up, I had a great game with my buddy Kurt. Had my Persians out on the table, and it was a lot of fun to play. Played about 500 points at Hail Caesar, so that's a pretty good sized game. And I found out that my Greek allies were a little lacking in some punch. Just had like 3 units of peltis and a couple of slingers, and then 1 big unit of hoplites. And they didn't last very long on the table. If you want to check out the other videos on the game, I did 3 separate videos on that because the 500 point game was a little large, so I decided to break it down into 3. Made it a lot easier to do. A lot of fun, but my right got crushed, and so I thought, well, maybe I need to add a few more units with some punch to that. So I've been working on my Greek allies, and so I just knocked over a pot of wash here, but I don't know if you'll be able to see these very well, but this is a small unit I've got painted up with the shield transfers on there. I kind of like the blue and the white. Got them all in there. Let's give it a little side look. Yeah. It's a lot. Been kind of fun. I base them individually because sometimes you never can tell what's coming down the road. There may be another system that comes along that's a model removal system that everybody's really hot on, and I won't be able to do that. And since the other games are frontage based, depth based, they'll be all right. And I'm using these. Oh my gosh, who makes these? I think these are from Warlord Games, and I like these bases because they cut real easy, and see my little washer things for the magnets and everything to sit on. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some magnets on the side, so that way if I need to have them on a bigger base, I can just slide them together and they'll click. And I get my magnets from a place called K&J Magnetics. If anybody's interested in it, I get these. Let's see, do I have them on my paint desk? I normally have them on my paint desk. Where are my magnets? Oh, here they are. There's some of them. I think I've showed these before. They're my preferred magnets. They're very, very... Oh, shoot. I know what I'll do. Where did you go? I dropped him. Huh. Well, that one's gone missing. I'll find another one. Put on the end of this little bitty screwdriver. If you can just make that out. How tiny that is. That's a very small screwdriver, by the way. And it's 1/16 by 1/32. And they don't really make your model stand up too awfully tall. And so with proper basing, you can kind of cover it up where you've got the washer, then the magnet, and then the base. They can stand up a little bit, but I tend to like flock my bases around the edges anyway, so it kind of blends in with whatever I'm flocking the model with. But that's what I'm working on now. If you notice on this unit, I did a kind of a white shield with the black transfers. And on my next unit, obviously I'm going to do blue shields. And we're going to have the white transfers on these. I don't think I've got quite enough to do them all, but we'll see. I'm sure I've got some sort of, maybe an extra thing of transfers around here somewhere that I can put in. But I think they'll turn out really great once I get them done. Now, I know that a lot of the theory is that you're supposed to paint inside out. You mean your deepest recesses first and then work your way out. Sometimes, I don't know, I just started on the outside with the shields of these guys. And I know it may make it a little bit more difficult when I get to the inside, but I don't know. Just the way I started out with these. But that's what's going on. on my Persian army with the Allies, and maybe someday, which will probably be soon, I'll probably have enough to field a complete Greek hoplite army. So that's probably where that'll wind up. Not that, you know, I need another army, but, you know, heck, if it was all about needs, I wouldn't be doing this at all anyway. So that's enough of that crybaby stuff. Now, what I really want to cry about is there's this other company, and I know you know who they are. They're putting out another skirmish type game. And I know that seems to be the trend now, is all these skirmish games. But I'm kind of, and it's where they're separating the skirmish game from big battle games. And I understand the logic behind it. It's the cost, and it's the time, and it's wah is what it sounds like to me. And it's almost like, let's take 40K and Shadow War Armageddon. Both games that I do play, and I have models for them. Matter of fact, I've got some of those pushed together aggressors for my 40K army right there. I've got quite a few models in that army painted up, and I've been playing in a couple of games. I wouldn't say I'm very good at it yet, but it's been a long time since I played 40K, and it's changed quite a bit, but it's been a lot of fun. I don't understand why that they can't come up with a game in which the skirmish game is more connected to the larger battle game. And what I mean is if, like, especially like in a campaign, in a scenario thing where you're wanting to use all your models in all their glory, basically, throughout a campaign. And that's going to be something else. I have another channel that I'm going to dedicate just to talking about campaign development, and that sort of thing. And over the last 30 years, I've been involved in a lot of different kinds of campaigns, and I'm thinking I've come down with a kind of an idea on how to circumvent the way life tends to get in the way of campaigns. I mean, especially for adults who have families, and life just gets in the way. And it's a bummer, because you get like 2 or 3 rounds into a good campaign, and the next thing you know, you're, oh, I can't do this because of my kids, or my mother, or, you know, got graduations and birthdays, and everything can get in the way of it. So there's got to be a way to do that, and that's going to be the focus of another channel I'm going to be working on. This, on the other hand, is a complaint where I don't understand the need to separate them out, other than just to make board games and to make money. I understand they need to make money, obviously. We all need to make money. But where is the holistic approach to gaming? And why is it that I'm noticing that in the gaming community, which is small to begin with, obviously, even with all the people who are putting content like myself on YouTube, and people much better, much more involved, much more in depth with it, that it seems like we're all breaking up into these separate little camps, and there's not enough inclusion. And one of the things that I think I've noticed about this is this going towards all these skirmish games. And they come with all the tiles, and they're well thought out, and the models are excellent, but they're standalone. There's no way for you to say, okay, we're going to play this skirmish game, and what happens in this skirmish game will affect what we do in the big battle game. It's like they don't discuss, you know, that crossover. And that bothers me, because I feel like we're becoming more divided out where there's we like big battle games and we like skirmish games and this is why we like this and this, when it's just wargaming. And we shouldn't have to, you know, pick and choose something better, you know, because, you know, that's yours is bad because this is the best way to go about it. And I don't think that it is. I don't think there exists that one better way. We need to be more inclusive of big battle and skirmish, and that way, you know, we can have a game that say, okay, we're going to play this skirmish game, because guys that like to play skirmish games, and maybe they don't have enough models to play the big battle game, but say you can team up and say, you're going to be the guy that runs the skirmish game, and I'll play the big battle game, or I'll do the skirmish and you do the big battle game, and then whatever happens in this small elite sort of contest will have a direct effect upon the big battle game. And we don't see much of that. We don't see a lot of that kind of discussion. We don't see that sort of inclusion. What we're seeing more and more today is exclusion. And I find that disappointing. I don't want to say anything. I was with a bunch of guys, and what got me thinking about this was that we were talking, and one guy brought up what he was planning on doing. And it seemed like at the moment he said that, and it almost like people were taking a stance. You should do this then, or you should, you know, that's crap game. You shouldn't play that game. You should play this game and do this sort of thing. And everybody was, you know, touting what they liked the best. I found it disturbing a little bit. I don't know. It's like we're breaking up into camps, and I don't think that's good for the community. I really don't. Not in the long run. In a very short term, the company loves it. I'm sure that they do. Well, all these companies, they're just producing these skirmish games one after another, one after another, one after another. And, you know, by the time you buy 3 or 4 skirmish games, wow. What kind of big army can you buy? When one of the arguments is, oh, it's less expensive to buy into these skirmish games. I got to put some paint on them all. Excuse me. And I don't know. It just seems to me, well, I got to put on my headgear because I'm old, and, well, I got to be able to see. And with this thing, if I throw this thing down, I can actually see Orion's belt, I think, if I step outside tonight. I think I could actually pick out aliens approaching Earth. But this way I get down into the detail. But as again, I'm going to say it again, I think we're breaking off into some camps, and I don't think it's good for the hobby. I don't think the hobby is large enough to take on a lot of that. And I think it would be good for the biggest, baddest company on the planet to take a lead role, you know, whoever that might be, wink, wink, and begin having inclusive dialogue instead of just selling product and, you know, because it's a genre that's hot, let's do that. But then there's a lot of other people out there that you alienate because there's no crossover. How many, let's see, they've got, I'm talking about Games Workshop, everybody knows. They got Shadow War, Necromunda, they got Kill Team, and then they're coming out with Rogue Trader. So that I hear at the end of the year. So there's 3 skirmish games from the same company. So that seems to me to be a little much. Now if each game becomes the hot topic for a few people out of a small community. So there you got a small bit of guys playing this one, a small bit of guys playing this one, a small bit of guys playing this one. And very, very few people cross over and play all of them because most people can't afford to buy every skirmish game that comes along. You know, I don't know, I make a good living. I can't afford to buy all those different games and stuff. I mean, you got to kind of pick and choose. And if we're not going to be inclusive, I think that's separating the community out. Especially in my area, wargaming isn't that big. I have to drive all the way to Dayton, Ohio to get a good sized group of guys, which is a great group of guys anyway. So the drive over is no problem. But that being said, I think I'll stop whining about it. It's 15 minutes in. And I'll get back to painting, and I will see you next time. If you have any thoughts, any comments, and you think I'm just stupid and old and missing the point, let me know. Maybe we can do a video the next time. We can talk about whatever you disagree with. But it's something I think we ought to concern ourselves with more inclusion, instead of breaking off into these camps and being exclusionary and being more exclusionary, where we don't do that because there's no way to put them together. If there was a way that we can work together, then I think there would be less exclusion. And that's just my thought. Let me know, and I will talk at you later. Game on.